And these are some additional thoughts on the dominant, the older dominant based on the octatonic or diminished scale on B, 1, 3, 4, 6 string family. And the first is to just take the diminished seventh chord on C. So a semitone up, C, A, G flat, and E flat. Now we'll take each voice at a time, starting with the bass. We lower the C to B, we have a B7. If we move it up, we've already seen this chord. This is a D chord with a flat 9. D, A, F sharp, and E flat. Inner voice moves, of course, down and up. We've already covered that. Now, the middle voice, the alto voice, from the A moves down to A flat. Now we have an A flat 7. So, and a B7 and a D7, etc. So, moving from that direction in, we have the diminished major 7, voice exchange, the B and the C. So we've already covered those chords. Also, this F sharp moves to F. F7, again, A flat 7. Those are all dominant chords. And in fact, if we lower the bass from there, we get a B7 with a flat 5. So we get that derivative chord just by lowering the middle voice. And there's our minor 7, of course. Now we go back to the diminished. We lower the top voice, D7. So this C sharp diminished becomes a straight dominant F7, A flat dominant. Also, if we lower the lower voice, the lowest voice, we have minor 7s. So we have that option as well. So the diminished chord can be the foundation for a lot of these different harmonies. Obviously, we already covered some of these. You know, moving the top voice up from diminished major 7. Additionally, we have these chords, which are sort of from the diminished family as well. We have a major chord, C, A flat, E flat, and we have a B on top, which came from a voice exchange of our B, A flat, E flat, and C, an A flat or a G sharp triad on top of a B. And we said that was sort of a 13 flat 9. We voice exchange, and now we move the top voice, we get another diminished 7, a diminished major 7, C, G flat, E flat, and B, which acts as a dominant. So this is a B7 substitute, A7, A flat 7 substitute. So either one, they're all good. They all work. And that comes from moving the inner voice. And we can see how these chords from the diminished sort of collapse. They sort of move in one direction and collapse in. We take the lower voice and we move it. And we can see how all the voices can move. And we go back. That's the inner voice. And now the alto voice. And also this voicing as well, which comes from this. This is interesting. Here's a B triad, just like this. We said here's an A flat with a B on top. Here's an A flat with an A on top. And we just voice exchange and we get a sharp 9. C, A, E flat, and A flat. And that's that couples nicely with this. That sort of a sound. So we're bringing that in from this, the tenor voice, the alto voice. So we have this, we started at the diminished, and we move the F sharp down to the F, move it down to the E flat, and to the D, and up to the G flat. And we get a nice cadence. That's very nice. And now we move the top voice. E flat, D. We get a C, or we get a C there, and then we get a B. And we get some nice contrary motion as well. And we move it to C sharp minor. So that would round out the basics of the dominant 7 altered family with the 13th, and that's coming from the Octatonic Diminished Scale on the tonic B on the 1, 3, 4, 6 string family.